Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Okamiden. The last episode, we rescued Kurow from the prison he was imprisoned in because he was imprisoned in a prison. And while we're going to continue going through the Moon Cave, we have to find the golden imp mask so we can get the Orochi secret stash, so we can make our way to the top where Orochi and Amaterasu are currently having their climactic battle of the ages to determine the fate of all Nippon that happened 9 months ago, so we already know what happens. Spoilers, Amaterasu wins. Yes, indeed. I know it's a shock to everyone. But what we need to do is we need to go to the bottom floor, because now we have Kurow. We actually can bridge that one gap in that one room. And also, because we have the master key, we can also unlock those doors and just get some petty treasures behind there. Nothing too important. But it's always good to pick them up regardless, because petty treasures are still treasures nonetheless. You may as well pick them up. It's free stuff. How can you ever hate free stuff? So that's what we want to do first. We're going to hopefully... and then hopefully we'll be able to find something that'll tell us how next to proceed. So that's the plan, guys, for this video. And hopefully we'll actually make it to the summit. And hopefully stuff and things will actually happen. Will we be able to stop Akuro? We're going to find that out in a little bit. But Divine Sake L, not too bad. I mean, it does heal all your ink pots and your solar units. So that's always never a bad thing. Always never, yes. I have the greatest grammar ever. But and here's also a snake figure, yes. So if you haven't picked that up before in the past, I believe there was a really hard one to find in the 5-star pagoda that the 5th floor. I keep doing that. Pagoda that you could have missed out on. So there we go. There's another copy there if you need it of the treasure chest. I'm pretty sure all the figures, there's 2 copies available. And there's also one of those thingy-mabobbers. Don't really care about that either. What we really want to do is come over here and see what this contraption thing over here looks like. A giant boar or something. Kind of a bit of a weird little thing. But we're going to cross the purple goo, because purple goo is purpley and it's gooey, so you don't want to touch it because, you know, you'll become all purple gooey and then no one's going to ever want to talk to you because you'll smell like purple goo. Clearly that's not poisonous or anything like that, but we want to hook the hook to the hook, and then it'll open this guy's mouth and unleash the stairway. Kind of a bit of an odd opening mechanism, but hey, it works. So we're going to head in here. What we're going to find in here, very interestingly enough, is... well, you can kind of see it right there for the, in the distance. This is Orochi's secret treasure room. We are filthy freaking rich right now. Look at all that stuff and that neat set of armor, interestingly enough. Boy, there's a lot of good stuff here. I mean, granted, we're trying to save the world here, so what does gold have to do with this? I don't know. But Orochi apparently has a giant stash of gold. He's kept all his tributes throughout the hundreds of years. He's been harassing everyone. And Susano happens to make his way here too. Dude, the summit's upwards. You kind of went in the wrong direction. But he's going to elaborate more on this armor. Basically, this armor, and this is going to actually come into play later, this is, well, it belongs to his family. If you haven't guessed, it's the suit of armor that Nagi wore into battle against Orochi. So, basically, it's Nagi's armor. Very special, mystical set of armor, and it's going to play a very interesting role in this game. Basically, we're going to acquire it and keep it for later, and it will have its purpose at some point. Obviously, it's going to have its purpose. I wouldn't introduce this to just not have a purpose at all. That would make no sense whatsoever. By the way, as you can see in this cutscene, there's a lot of treasure in this room as well. You know, go figure, treasure in a treasure room. So we're going to be getting a lot of goodies quite soon, and that's always, you know, a good thing. So yeah, apparently Orochi, the armor's gone missing from history, but we found it. The armor has been here all along. I mean, you'd think, you know, you'd search for the last place someone saw it, which would be the Moon Cave. What happened to Nagi anyway? Did he just, like, leave his armor here and go home? Because it's not like Nagi died when he in battle here, did he? I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, the history. I don't really think he died here, so I guess the history's a bit odd. But anyway, Susano, being the badass he is, he's like, I don't need no armor. I have love. Love is my weapon of choice. And he's like, Kurow's like, yeah, love's not going to save you from a giant snake bite. But obviously it would make sense for him to wear the armor. I mean, they established that he doesn't wear the armor in Okami, so it's sort of break canon if, you know, he only showed up wearing armor. So we're actually going to be, yes, he'll be just walking in an antique shop. Also, very, possibly interesting plot point. It goes to a theory I have that I'll have to go into the end of the game because it's very spoilerific with that. And also, you know, Kurow and Chibi, we're offering basically to hold on to the armor, which is why we're going to have it. So we have the armor on us. Boy, if the Lucky Mallet's too heavy, but this armor apparently isn't. Go figure. But very interesting they said is only Nagi can apparently wear this armor to its effectively. So that's gonna go into a theory I have later. That stuff. It's just a theory because this game, the reason why I think it's a sequel is it doesn't answer every question. There are questions very much left to be answered later. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what's going to be happening, but I'm not sure exactly what the actual explanation is, but we'll talk more about this armor when it actually comes into place. In the meantime, we got ourselves a lucky coin, if I remember correctly, and we also got ourselves Masterpiece 4-10, which means we are now done with Masterpiece Part 4. We only have 6 more Masterpieces left, guys, and we actually got the reward for Masterpiece Part 4, which is, as you're going to see right now, the Golden Cat. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Because basically, what this is going to do, it's a thing we can equip, and it's going to basically attract valuables to you, if I remember correctly. So if we take a look here, trinkets, yeah, it draws fallen items. So like the items that the enemies drop, and the items you got, the pots, you know, like your ink pots, your money, your solar units, etc. It'll be drawn to you, so you don't have to walk over it. It'll actually move over to you. Also, I'm quickly checking to make sure I did pick up the enemies in the Moon Cave, because this is something you don't want to forget. You want to make sure you pick up that pot, the pot tanuki there. So I was just quickly double checking that. You know, I can go in the glossary if I want to check things. I don't need to do it off camera. I want to make sure, you know, I had this thing all done and fine and wrapped up before I exit the Moon Cave and reach the point of no return, because we're getting pretty close to it. As you can probably imagine, well, I mean, you can imagine what happens from here. What happens from here is we go to the guy who wanted the Golden Imp Mask, because we found the Golden Imp Mask in here. He's going to give us Oroshi's secret stash, or give Oroshi's secret stash to the guard. The guard's going to let us through, and we'll be done. And you can imagine, you know, going past the guard will be the point of no return for the Moon Cave. We are going to wrap up the Moon Cave in this episode if you haven't figured that out already. And we'll see, we'll conclude this little side Susano story, even though we already know how it's going to end if you played Okami. You know what's going to happen with Susano versus Orochi, all that kind of crazy shenanigans. It is cool that you see his backstory, though. You see where he goes in the Moon Cave. You have this whole segment with Nagi's armor and Susano, where he decides not to use the armor. Very interesting behind-the-scenes characterization and plot that Okami doesn't cover. It's one of the things I love about this whole going back in time thing. It really covers some interesting plot elements that you don't really get to see otherwise. So yeah, I'm quickly talking to this guy because I don't think I've actually talked to him with having Kurow on. He's all like, yeah, blow us the wind up, boy. Dude, we figured this out already. Did you not notice that we rescued you? You don't think we figured this out already, Kurow? Come on, we're not stupid. But I mean, I guess, you know, they usually add a lot of dialogue in there for him, or for whoever your partner is, if you have him on you. So that's just the way it works, I guess. Anyway, we want to go up to the second floor here, or the second basement, or the third floor, whichever perspective you want to call it. I guess if you go by the number, it's the third floor. Because over here is the kitchen, and in the kitchen is where the Golden Imp Mask was, so we're going to go ahead and dodge his kitchen conveyor belt gauntlet again, and we'll see if we can get over there, give him the mask. Also, Kurow gets to explain this to him. He's like, I don't even want to know it. Yeah, I don't want to know what's going on in there either. They have, like, frozen hunks. I don't even know what those things are supposed to be. Are those, like, eyeballs or something? I don't even know. Like, what are these things? What the heck do they put in this soup? And it's a pretty darn big soup if they're continuing to put more stuff in there, and also the meat got in the way. Damn you, meat! Why are you getting in my way? I guess that's just the way the world works. Anyways, we'll go ahead and up here, and that's where the imp is, so we'll go ahead and give him the mask, and he'll be all fine and happy, and we'll get the sake from him, and then we're all gonna go get drunk on life, because that's just what we do. I mean, I guess it makes sense that demons would be sake drinkers. I mean, they're all sort of sinning sort of creatures anyway, so obviously they love the alcohol, I guess. Makes sense, I guess, you know, vices and all that. If you remember, though, there was a section over here we couldn't access because we didn't have Kurow, so now that we have Kurow, we can actually access it by levitating him across this thing, and from there we can find a way across, and then there's a treasure over there we can get. Not anything too major. We already got all the major treasures. Basically, you want to make sure you get the lucky coin if you don't have 5 lucky coins yet. And you want to make sure, obviously, you get the masterpieces and the proper enemies. Other than that, you're pretty free. I mean, this kind of stuff is just icing on the cake, I suppose. And I guess if you haven't got the treasure yet, the snake figure, you might want to pick that up as well. But over here is a soul sake. We have plenty of those already. Not that big of a deal. So, it's there. We can make use of it later. There is a section in the game I am going to use all the items, so don't worry, I will show off the soul sake at some point. But we'll make our way back, and all we need to do now is head upstairs, give the alcohol, get the sake, and we'll be done with the Moon Cave pretty much. And then we're just gonna have really long cutscenes, because as you imagine when you complete a section, there's just really long cutscenes. If you haven't figured that out watching this LP yet, then I don't know what to say to you, because you probably haven't been paying that much of attention. I don't know how that didn't hit me, but that totally did. Ow! That would hurt, having a giant blade chop across you. In fact, that would probably kill you, but we're a god, so who cares? We can survive anything, because we're a godly, big godder, chibi kid per thing. I am just so out of it. I should not be recording this late, guys. I am definitely recording this pretty late at night. Anyways, we're gonna head upstairs now, so we need to draw one more tornado in order to raise the elevator up here. And from there, you know, we can finally finish the Moon Cave. I've been saying that for like a minute now, but this is sort of just dragging out at this point. It's just taking forever for me to get there. I mean, that's the thing about Okamiden. It's a pretty slow-paced game because, you know, there's tasks you need to do, but you need to sort of wander around. Chibi's not the fastest runner. It is definitely a much slower-paced game than Okami was as well, that's for sure. Okami, okay, you know, since E3 is kind of come and gone by the time of this recording, I do have to say this, though. Okami 2 for the Wii U totally needs to happen, because it'd be like all the graphics and all the you know, the vast world of Okami, and now they have a touchscreen. How perfect is that, Capcom? Come on, jump on this chance, Okami 2. Do it. Anyway, this guy drinks the alcohol, he gets drunk, and because he's drunk, we can now, and he falls asleep, and we can now sneak past. None of the other guards give any shits. There's like 2 other guards up here, the guy in the elevator and the guy who's selling stuff. They see you trying to get past there. They just don't care at all. They're like, well, this guy is sneaking past the guard, whatever, he's asleep. Not my job, buddy. Not my job. Anyway, we'll make it through this door, and now we have something that's, in my opinion, very memorable from Okami, and of course they have to bring in this game. The ridiculously, pointlessly long, well, not staircase, but spiral path up to Orochi, because it's back. This guy, you're being obnoxious, Mr. Duder. I do not want what you are selling, and I'm going to run away now. Goodbye. I was tempted to kill him. Yeah, oh, he's back being all electricity. You know, screw you. He's kind of following me up here, though. Dude, I know you want to see Orochi. You can come with me if you want. We'll see Orochi together. We'll be best of pals, except for the fact that you're trying to kill me. So actually, I don't want to be best of pals because you're trying to kill me, and I'm actually going to run away and have the staircase alone. So screw you, Mr. Gargoyle person. Screw you. Anyway, so yeah, the very long, pointless spiral path upwards. Really, is this necessary? Apparently it is, and you know, it was an Okami, so it makes sense for it to be an Okamiden. They try to keep the layouts generally pretty, you know, typical of what it actually is. Anyway, we get a little bit of backstory, because as you can see, Amaterasu and Orochi are finishing their fight here. Orochi, you know, the one picture of Amaterasu, I think this is the only time you see Amaterasu in the entire game, which is pretty cool. I mean, boy, it really brings into perspective how different, you know, Amaterasu is from Chibi in terms of design. So Chibi does look so much younger. You kind of forget that after a while. But yeah, Amaterasu just looks so much fiercer. You almost, I mean, so many extra markings and everything. You don't really expect it, to be honest. But we get this little tidbit that we don't get to see in Okami, where Susano's basically being a giant coward. And it turns out in the end, Kurow and Chibi, you know, they went 9 months back in the past, and they ended up encouraging Susano to go fight Orochi. Boy, dude, do you not wish you put that armor on now? You sure loves your weapon, dude. You sure that's good enough for you? Apparently not, because you are quaking in your boots. But of course, using our knowledge of history, we already know, dude. You know, Susano's gonna be fine. History says he slays the beast, and that's precisely what he's going to do. So go, Susano, change history. Do this for your love. Be epic. Have your character development. Go be an awesome person like we all know you are. And that is indeed what he's going to do, because he sort of stumbles, and all of a sudden he's back to badass Susano that we see in Okami, and he gives his epic little speech. Luckily the game's like, okay, you've seen the speech in Okami, you don't need to see the speech now, it's not very relevant. Susano's not a major character in this game, so his whole speech, character development's not really relevant. It's just sort of interesting behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, so he sort of gives his little speech thing. Well, it does actually show most. He does actually show most of it. About how he's the greatest swordsman ever lived, blah blah blah. He's just being badass and awesome now. Susano, you freaking rock, dude. You are indeed awesome. very, very epic speech. I do love Susano as a character. I think he's he's a coward early on. He's really annoying for that. But boy, when he's badass, he is badass. They don't show the whole scene though. If you remember, the moon sort of powered up Susano's sword and made it epic. And they don't really show that. They just actually show Kurow and Chibi watching him. I'm surprised like Amaterasu and Issa didn't notice. Like, you think they'd notice a blonde kid and a dog watching them. But apparently no one did. Apparently no one noticed they were there. They're just that good at not being seen. They took some tips from Monty Python. But his sword changed. Now we get this epic segment like we did in Okami, where we actually have to help him kill Orochi. I know Amaterasu does this in the main games. Apparently Amaterasu and Chibi did it together. I don't know, because apparently we're doing it too. Also, I love how that symbol looks like that one symbol looked like OP. I'm like, lol, Susano was so OP. No, that one's not. So it's only that one symbol. Anyway, as you can see, he does this really epic speech, which is delayed because every time he says a single word, you have to slash ahead. You have to do 6 of these or 7 of these. I think it's 8. Orochi's 8-headed, so yeah, 7 of these. But he says, I believe, good will not give in to evil or something like that. Good will not give in to evil. Yeah, that's 7 words, so that makes sense. And yeah, so he slashes all 8 of his heads. I mean, you really appreciate this more if you've played Okami, because the whole thing about Orochi is, all have his different heads, a different element. You have to combat them. Very, very amazing boss fight in Okami. One of the best boss fights in Okami for sure. So we don't unfortunately get to replicate. We don't have a boss fight for Orochi as much as you guys might have been hoping you would, and I certainly was hoping you would. We would, but nope, no boss fight for Orochi. We just get to slay the heads, which doesn't have as much meaning without, having played Okami. But all the heads are dead. This guy, he's angry, he is all sorts of mad, and Susano's like, I'm not gonna tolerate this, your heads are dead, I'm gonna take down the main head now, Celestial Cleaver! His ultimate finishing move, where he jumps up in the air, and he's literally, and he's not even need our help for this one, he's gonna cut Orochi's head in half, the long way. Bad freaking ass. And I love Amaterasu's grin there. She's just like, yeah, you rock, dude. You just kicked all sorts of ass. You got the girl. You slayed the serpent. Susano, congratulations. You are now a hero. I love his laugh right here. He's just so triumphant. And, seeing his backstory, sort of helping him overcome his fears, his personal triumph does mean a bit more in this game now. It's like, yeah, we helped you, dude. You did it! You were awesome! Awesome job, dude. I'm proud of you. Proud of you, Susano. But now for the part, as the crowd said, they're not going to teach in the history books. Akuro shows up. You think Amaterasu and Issa would notice, oh, giant dark presence near Orochi. Probably should deal with that too. But no, it's left for Chibi and Kurow to deal with. So Akuro is going to try to get Orochi's blood, but Kurow, being a badass with his magic flute, is just going to jump in there and almost get so close. That ambush was so close. Unfortunately, Kurow did notice at the last second, was able to dodge. We were able to deal a hefty blow onto him. I'm not sure how much the flute would have actually done. I mean, this is like the Lord of Darkness. What's a little flute gonna do? But we do manage to throw him off and scare him off guard. He realizes, dude, okay, so this Orochi's pretty well guarded. Like, Kurow and Chibi, they have this pretty dark cover, and he's not at full power yet. He doesn't want to fight yet. So instead of fighting him, he's like, you know what? And also, this is very interesting. Kurow's pendant begins to glow. So, what is the meaning of Kurow's pendant? What is Akuro going to do? Well, actually what he's going to do, he's going back in time again. So that means, guys, we're going back in time once more. So that means it's LuckySevenDX signing out in the next episode. What's the meaning of Kurow's pendant? Where are we going back in time? We'll find out next time on Okamiden. Bye, guys.